my Cancer friends. How are you today? Aaron here, bringing you your monthly horoscope for October 2020. We have a jam-packed, incredible month ahead of us. Okay, this is one of the most beautiful months of the entire year, one of the most beautiful months of our entire lives. And I truly, truly mean that. And I don't care if I'm the only astrologer out here that's talking about the positivity of the Mars retrograde and the Mercury retrograde. And there's a lot of buzzwords of fear and oh no and griping and all this. And we're going to change that today. We're going to change that this month. And we're going to change the rest of our lives. Okay? And this is where we start. All right. Now, there was a little message that came to me earlier today in a meditation before I sat down to do these videos. And it was, nothing is happening fast. Got Mars retrograde. Nothing is happening fast. Yet, nothing is happening slow. All is perfect. As long as I stay in my lane and surrender to the flow. Okay? So, we have a lot of shadow work to do this month. We have our planet of action, Mars retrograde. Once every 2 years this happens. All right? We get to take a break. We get to take a rest. We're not trying to force a square peg into a round hole. We're not trying to act and get things done when it's just like if it's not time, it's not time. Okay? Surrender to the flow. All right? We're going to have Mercury retrograde in the sign of Scorpio. It's going to happen on the 13th. Okay? And Mars rules Aries and it rules Scorpio. Okay, so there's one power that's not retrograde this month that rules that planet as well, or rules that sign as well, and that's Pluto, and that's about transformation. Pluto wants to transform our lives this month. Not only is Pluto going to transform our lives this month, it's like the true power of Pluto gets to come out. It's not retrograde anymore, it's in Saturn. It's been doing work for a long time. It has two helpers up there with them. Okay, it's got Jupiter, a planet of expansion, and Saturn, the Lord of Karma, saying, yes, this is how we do it. This is what we do. You are the authority. You are in the driver's seat of your life. Okay? No one did anything to you. People did things for you to put you on this path. And we're done blaming people. We're done blaming the outside world. We're done wanting the world to change. It's time for us to change and us to take the lead. And by us just simply taking the lead and not pulling somebody else into our lane, we got to stay in our own lane, right? By us not trying to force somebody to come with us on this journey or to show them the light. Let me show you the light. I want to shake you so much. I just want to show you this. You're a Cancer. You don't do that. You don't shake people. You're gentle and loving. I got a Cancer moon, man. I get it. Cancer moon, North Node conjunction. So there's a gentleness to you. So you're not shaking people, but it's like you really want them to come. I really want them to come and see this light and see all this beauty. And it's just like by just you being the beautiful Cancer that you are, the beautiful person that you are, that beautiful emotional energy that you have to offer the world, you're leading the way. Okay, you're the cardinal water sign, the cardinal emotional sign, okay? Teaching us how to be emotional. Teaching us how to communicate compassionately, teaching us how to nurture each other. All right? And this is a huge month. So let me get into it for you. Okay, I'm so excited about this month. I cannot smile enough. My heart is overwhelmed with joy to bring you these messages. I'm telling you. All right, let me get into it. Okay. So, we got right on the 1st, we got an Aries full moon. Okay? It's going to happen at 9 degrees. Moon's going to catch up by about 5 p.m., but for the sake of showing you the chart in your first house, I have to have it here. All right? So this full moon is going to conjunct Chiron. All right? And this full moon, the moon will be in your 10th house, okay, where Mars is. So there can be some stagnance in your career right now, and that's okay. All right? There's an old Buddhist, I don't know, are there new Buddhist terms? Maybe they're all old. There's like a Mitch Hedberg joke that's just like, this is an old picture of me. And it's just like, how do you take a new picture of you? All pictures of you are an older picture of you. Anyway, so there's this Buddhist quote that's doing nothing is doing something. And we have to use that to our advantage this month. Doing nothing is doing something sometimes, okay? The lack of action is the action that we need to take place. Okay, so if there's something going on with the career or how you're being viewed, if there's a little bit of a lull, that's all right. Enjoy this rest because it won't always be that way, okay? It won't always be that way. So we got the sun over here in your fourth house, okay? Now Cancer rules fourth house, right? About home and family. And this is about bringing balance into your life, bringing balance into your home, bringing balance to your family, bringing balance to your connection with nature. All right, my crabs, that is very important right now, bringing your balance, a balanced connection with nature and fully illuminating. When it's like when we can sit here and when we can truly rest in our home, we have a better work relationship, okay? We have a better time, we can work better when we've taken the time to rest, okay? And that's what the fourth house is about, that rest, okay? So taking the time for oneself, if you got to pamper yourself, pamper yourself. If you need to give to yourself, give to yourself, because then it's going to show up here on the work front, okay? And this moon, emotional needs, and Chiron, healing the wounds, okay, are opposing the sun. So the sun is fully illuminating Chiron and the moon here. Well, fully illuminating the moon, but Chiron gets some spill, okay? So this is saying, look, we got to shine our light here on our career. Okay, and this isn't about being forceful. Like, I want that raise, boss. This isn't like that. This is you showing up and you doing the work. And by you doing the work, you will get the recognition that you deserve. Okay, and Chiron here is healing and saying, even if you don't get that recognition that you wanted right now, that's okay. You're doing this because it's what you love to do. You're doing this because you're being called to do it. This is the work that you love. This is what you do. Right? So this is important that you just keep on doing. Keep on keeping on, baby, right? On the 2nd, we're going to have Venus now leaving, we got money Venus here that's been in your 2nd house, okay? So the career stuff hopefully has been good for you, even with Mars retrograde, all right? The career stuff should be good for you with Venus, or at least money flowing in for you, okay? Now Venus is going to enter your 3rd house, which is about information. This is about your wisdom. It's also about siblings. So this is, if you got a brother, a sister, some family members, make sure you reach out to them. Make sure you tell them you love them. Even if you've been quarreling right now, bringing balance back into our relationships of all, and then family here where the sun is. So make sure you tell your family you love them, okay? They're not around forever. We don't know. I don't want to go dark there, but at the same time, this month has a lot of shadow work that we just have to be honest with ourselves. I don't want to deny you of that. Okay, we all know that stuff anyway. So tell the people you love that you love them. This is also about you taking the time to study, to do some research. If there is something going on here with the work front that you want to raise, but it's just like, I need to go back to school to re-educate myself. I need to go back to school to learn more, or I need to freshen up on this subject or this topic to learn more in order for me to get that raise that I do deserve, because that's where my ambition is leading me, okay? So this can be a great time for that. It's about learning and about expanding your mind and gaining as much information as possible, but not just any information. This is about information that you have a personal relationship with, information that you truly want to learn. This isn't you going through the motions. Okay, this is the real deal. All right, I'm telling you, life-changing month, and I'm going to explain this in a moment. Like, life-changing energy, life-changing. Okay, here we go. We're getting excited. All right, so Venus enters Virgo. Okay, wisdom, gaining new knowledge and valuing the wisdom that you're gaining. You're loving it. Okay, now here's the big meat. The big meat is Saturn on the 8th. Is going to create a septile to Neptune. Neptune has been creating a septile to Uranus. Uranus, as you already see, is creating a septile to Saturn. Okay? Saturn says, let's make things real. Now, this is partnerships. My Cancer friends, if you are single, you're going to maybe get into a relationship here in the next 2 months. Okay, and this could be a very serious relationship. If you're already in a committed partnership of some kind, this means it's going to strengthen even more. Okay, Saturn is the glue in the zodiac. Saturn in the north node. When we do synastry charts, that's the south node. Saturn in the north node here. All right, we really look at it's not just where the Venus and the Mars and the Sun and the Moon are, but it's where is Saturn at? How does the Saturn line in the chart? Saturn is the glue. Okay. So Saturn is in your 7th house here. of partnerships. And this could be business, this could be romance, this could be love partnerships. But either way, this is about committed partnerships, okay? And with Neptune, this is saying, look, you're going to have the relationship that you've been trying to achieve your entire life. You're going to open up to your dreams coming true. And this wisdom that you're gaining here with Venus in the sign of Virgo, you know, and with Neptune being here in the sign of Pisces, you know, this is not only your dreams, but this is the higher knowledge and higher education and wisdom and traveling. And it's just like you and your partner can travel and you can do all of these things together, and the sky is the limit. Now, that will resonate certainly for hopefully a lot of you, okay? This connection is a once in several hundred years, something like 500 to 600 years is the next time that we're going to get this connection, something like that, okay? So it's like your great grandkids still won't have this connection, okay? Hundreds and hundreds of years for Saturn to be home in Capricorn, uninfluenced by another entity or another sign, another energy. Neptune home in Pisces, free to expand beyond the limits of what we thought was possible, okay? So I'm serious. For you, you get something very real here, okay? There is a good amount of surrendering that must take place, though. Unquestionably, we're doing a lot of shadow work this month, and I'm going to talk more about that in a moment here. The rest of this reading is going to be about shadow work primarily, as everything's in Scorpio and Mercury retrograde and all this. But we have to be willing to release and let go of things. We must, and especially if it comes to partnerships or relationships, and if it is starting something new or solidifying something, or there is a fear of, you know, this happened in the past and I don't want to go down the same road, you won't. The river is never the same from year to year that we go down it. You know, that river is always changing. Why? Because the emotional water that flows, okay, this is you, Cancer, that emotional water that flows, Cancer, Scorpio, Neptune, Pisces energy, shaves away those hard edges, shaves away and corrodes away the river, and trees fall. Those trees can be those blockages. Those trees can be stuck in our own ways, okay? So it's like this water energy flows and changes the solidified earth energy of our personalities, or how we react, respond, or the more deeply ingrained aspects in our personalities or our egos, okay? It can be that earth energy, that hard, unchanging energy. So it's just like you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry that you're going to find the same thing again, even if you go down the same path, or even if it's like a revisiting of an old partnership, okay? And there's certainly things like that are coming up right now. Old partnerships resurfacing, and it's saying release the idea of that it's going to be the same. When, you know, as Abraham Hicks, I'm a huge fan of Abraham Hicks, and one of the things that she talks about, Esther Abraham talks about, is that we create the next argument while in the midst of the first argument. Okay, this is like the child lying for the very first time. You know, did you draw a crayon on the wall? If the first time the answer is yes, well, then you're in trouble. Then the next time it happens, did you take mommy's makeup and draw on the wall? No. Well, because they don't want to get in trouble. They've learned to lie. They've learned, you know, and it's like we have to find new ways to communicate, or I don't want to say this. It's we're not going to be seeing the same patterns reemerging because times have changed. We've learned our lessons. We've learned to own up. We've learned to, Saturn and Capricorn, be the responsible authority of ourselves in order to make the right conditions. Okay, we're not going to go kayaking or rafting down that river if it's pouring rain and lightning. That's not the right condition. So we've learned, okay, we're going to do it when the skies are clear and whatever. All right, if this is making sense. We don't have to worry about repeating the same things because things have changed. The emotional water has moved that earth energy and is allowing open space to be created, okay? So this Neptune, septile to Saturn, septile is fate and destiny. Fate and destiny. Okay, this is we see the effects of the moon. All right, we see the winds that the moon creates. Okay, we see the effects of the moon. We see that the tide rises and lowers every day. We see the effects of the sun every single day. The sun rises and the sunflowers open up and the dandelions open up, and then the sun goes down and those flowers, and those flowers close back up. We see the effects of those two planets. Planet just means wanderer. We see them all the time, but what we don't see is these fate and destined connections. They're just happening. Okay, they're leading us down this path and they're allowing things to open for us. Okay, it's that constant flowing river of life that's working its magic that we don't always see until we revisit things. Okay, either way, so this is a powerful creation process going on right now. All right, a powerful creation, and you taking the driver's seat in your own life and saying, I'm the one in charge of my life and I get to decide. We've got the North Node over here in Gemini, okay, which is your 12th house about karmic completions and endings. Another reason why, if you are thinking, and I don't say this to every sign, but this is like, if you're thinking about going back with an old fire, flame, something like that, with the things that have been done over the time, this might be the time. This might be the time to forgive. This might be the time that those wounds have healed and to revisit that. Don't want to go too much down that. Nonetheless, you have to find your own path here. And with Neptune septile to Uranus, this is saying, look, what is the old tradition and tried and true? And this is here in the 11th house of the community. What would the community think about this? And the community sees this as being, look, we got the community here, Uranus breakthrough in the community, breakthrough in the 7th house, breakthrough connecting with your dreams and aligning with your dreams and your creativity in the 9th house. Okay, this is a recipe. If I saw this in somebody's chart, I'd say, okay, you are traveling with your partner and you are going around the world changing people's lives by the work that you're doing. Okay. I can't say enough good things about this. Aside from relationships, I want to talk about this for a moment, but it's just because it is in your 7th house is why I'm talking about relationships. Aside from relationships, this is the power in this creative energy to do whatever you want to do in life. You get to rewrite your own book. You get to rewrite your own script. Okay? No one's writing your book for you. No one's writing the script for you. It's you. The power is yours. And it's up to you to determine on where you're going and who you're going with and how you want to create your life and how big, if this is romance and you want the most romantic, maybe you're already in a romantic partnership, but it's just like, this is going to spice things up even more. And you and your lover can, have an even better relationship than you've ever had in the past. Okay. Or if this is about work and business, that means your business is going to expand beyond whatever you thought was possible. And maybe you are going to start traveling for your business and start blowing people's minds with the work that you're doing and putting in. Okay. And you get this South Node here in this place of work and service. And it's just like, well, I don't know if I should do this. How is this going to be, how is this going to be received by the collective? And it's just like, it doesn't matter. Okay. You're going to have the Sun, Mercury coming up here. Let's move on. I'm gonna start talking about this. All right, because this gets even deeper. Shadow time, baby. Mercury retrograde here on the 13th. Okay. Again, I cannot say enough positive things about this Mercury retrograde in the sign of Scorpio, while Mars is retrograde as well. Our planet of action. We're not forcing anything right now. We're not forcing anything. We're allowing things to be. Mercury in your 5th house. This is about communication. Okay. This is also about the ego side of communication, okay? The passionate side, the driven by power, the driven by sexual desire, the driven by desire in general, okay? The 5th house is about your creative self-expression, okay? And this is like taking it to a whole new level, okay? So Mercury retrograde is time to reevaluate and rethink part of the ego self, okay? And recognize the shadow. Where did we do something wrong? There's a lot of time that we want to blame the other. And I'm only talking about this with you because you have so much going on in the relationship sector right now, or partnerships in general. Where do we blame the other person in the relationship? Where do we say, well, this because they did this, and that's why A led to Z? Where now it's just like, okay, remember, not doing is doing right now. Okay. So Mars retrograde, Mercury retrograde, allowing Pluto in the 7th house is the only planet that's going to be affecting that fifth house energy of Mercury and Scorpio. It's saying transform. North node over there in Gemini of endings and completions and karmic baggage. Okay, the quantum entanglements is saying, well, where did I do this? You know, I've been pointing my finger at this person the entire time, but what was my level of involvement in that led to this? Okay, so this is a ton of shadow work that must be done this month. Okay, must be done this month in order to get us in alignment with where we want to go and to those people that we want to connect with to get where we're going. All right. It gets deeper. So Mercury retrograde on the 13th. We've got a new moon in the sign of Libra here on the 16th. Okay. This is again about home and family. This is an alignment in here, and this being with Libra, this is about balancing your relationships, balancing home and work life, balancing your relationship with yourself and the other. Okay. Then the 22nd, the sun is going to enter the sign of Scorpio to further our shadow work. And moving from your fourth house into your fifth house, Scorpio, fifth house, again, this is recognizing your own aspects of your own shadow and shining the light on these shadows. This is shadow work month, okay? There's no escaping our own shadow. There's no running from it. And the more that we run from our own shadow, I want to come back here, the more that we run from our own shadow and deny our level of involvement in the co-creating process, the more that we're going to deny these life-changing aspects that want us to expand and to unfold. Okay, Uranus wants to break through. Saturn wants to make things real and solidify these partnerships, no matter if it's business or love and romance, okay? And Neptune up there says we can grow, baby. We can expand our minds. We can learn as much as we can about the story of love. We can learn as much as we can about the business that we're creating together. We can learn as much as we can about this education that we're trying to teach to others. We can grow and expand as much as possible because all of this connects together, and this is about us together. This is about the knowledge that we gain together, and this is about us giving back to the community and breaking through, blowing people's minds with this wisdom, blowing people's minds in the world of business, blowing people's minds in how they see relationships in the year of 2020. It's possible. It is all possible. Not only possible, probable, and it's going to happen. Okay, there's just encouragement with us doing the shadow work right now. It's so extremely important. So on the 22nd, Sun enters Scorpio. Now the 25th, here's another magical moment. Okay, the Sun and Mercury are both going to meet up right here at 2 degrees of Scorpio. Okay, now this is where some I tapped on earlier. 2 degrees of Scorpio. So again, the fifth house is not only about romance. Okay, this is about creative self-expression. Okay, this is about that ego side of self. Healthy relationship with your ego, okay? Sun conjunct Mercury. Mercury retrograde means Mercury is resting. Mercury is not buzzing the way it normally is. It's too close to planet Earth for us to receive the signal. The sun is shining its light as it always does, in the shadow, okay? Shining our light on our minds, on our communication. This is saying we must communicate from the depths of our souls, from the depths of our ego. We must be willing to surrender our ego, must be willing to surrender our big business mind, okay, and surrender down here, okay? So the sun shining its light here with Mercury. Mercury and the sun are going to create a septile, fate, and destined connection to Chiron about healing, okay? Healing here in the 10th house of how you are viewed to the world, not just about business, but this is how the world views you, okay? A compassionate, loving, caring, nurturing, beautiful human being that you are, okay? So there's a beautiful amount of healing that's going on here on the 25th when the sun and Mercury start to create that septile, fate and destined to your healing, okay? Not only that, but this Sun-Mercury conjunction is creating a septile to the south node, okay? Which is about releasing and letting go. Okay, this is releasing and letting go. At the same time, the south node, as you see here, is creating a septile to Chiron. Okay, this is fate and destiny. This is your destiny. The shadow work that you're doing this month is your destiny. The work that you're putting in over here in your partnerships, no matter what kind of partnership it may be, is your destiny. This is your life coming into manifestation. You being the co-creator of this manifestation process, you taking the reins and breaking the chains. Let's flip that. Breaking the chains and taking the reins, being the co-creator of your life. So this septile is happening here about release. Who cares what other people think? You have to do you. You have to follow your own karmic path. Who cares about the other? Who cares that if you decide to do this for a hobby or a job or a second income, or, if this is the service that you want to provide? Oh, I can't believe you would want to do that. So I'm empowering people. Don't judge me, right? So this septile here, this is about, the ego self doing the shadow work and letting go of what other people think if we choose to make certain decisions. Chiron here, healing the wounds of how people view you. Healing this, letting go. This is your destiny. Okay? Now, on the 27th, Mercury is going to leave Scorpio and enter Libra again. On the 27th, Venus is going to leave Virgo and enter Libra. Okay? So as the Sun enters Scorpio, and the Sun is going to continue its shadow work this month, you get Mercury and Venus both coming back to your 4th house. So it's like when some of this shadow work stuff is underway, when this emotional healing, this emotional release, this letting go is going underway, when this manifestation powers are full underway, we have Venus, our planet of love, want, and desire, in the place of home and family, and Mercury retrograde, saying, I'm reevaluating. I'm reevaluating how I move through my own ego. I'm moving through now my place of home and family, and my relationship with myself, and my caring and nurturing relationship with others here in the sign of Libra, and reminding you to be empathetic, to be forgiving, to be caring, to be compassionate and loving, even for those people who wronged you. And the shadow work is going to bring up the fact that you wronged them as well. But you must be willing to do that shadow work. And when that shadow work happens, when this both enters the sign of Libra, this is when more magic happens. Okay? Because now you can take, the empathy and the compassion and the care takes over. And this is when the communication and the desire to communicate from the deeper parts of ourselves come out. Okay? Then finally, on the 31st, we have a full moon in Taurus. Okay? This is going to be the sun here in Scorpio and the moon right here, conjunct Uranus. Okay? So the sun in Scorpio shining its light from the depths of the shadows. The depths of the shadows in this case is the ego, 5th house. And it also deals with romance, okay? It deals with romance, and it deals with self, my self-expression. I must be willing to shine my own self-expression. I must be willing to bring the shadow stuff up and out, to shine its light. I must be willing to bring it up. We no longer have to hide. And that's one of the things with the water signs. Excuse me, there's a little fruit fly in my face. There's a little thing with the water signs is things go into hiding. Okay, these are about the emotional depths that we don't see. We don't wear them on our sleeves all the time. Okay, this isn't the fire signs and the air signs and the very practical earth signs that we see every day. This is the emotions. This is our deep secrets, our desires of power and sex and money and love and fantasy. Okay, so the sun here highlighting these aspects of self, these deep, very real feelings of self, and illuminating the moon in the 11th house of community and Taurus. Okay, this is and Taurus Uranus conjunct the moon. Okay, there's an emotional need to break through. There's an emotional need for freedom. I want freedom. I want freedom of this. And then, of course, what's going to be happening as the moon's conjunct Uranus? It's going to be creating that septile to Saturn. Saturn creating the septile to Neptune. Okay, this is more fate, more destined connections, more life just aligning you. Things don't happen to you, things happen for you. And this is the month that we understand that fully. Things happen for you. All right? Nothing's happening fast, yet nothing is happening slow. So all is perfect. As long as I stay in my lane and surrender to the flow. All right? Powerful, powerful month, my friends. You are at the forefront of creation process. Whatever you want, whatever you desire in this life is obtainable. It is reachable. This Saturn-Neptune connection, and as well with Uranus, it's happening. Uranus until the 23rd of this month, and Saturn and Neptune until the 23rd of November. Okay? So this is almost like a 2-month deal, but the shadow work is now. The shadow work must be done this month. Okay? It will pick up in November as well, as Mercury is still going to be retrograde. It's going to continue into November, but the meat of it is done now. Okay, we must clear ourselves now in order to embrace this new beginning, this new thing that's going to be happening for us, with us in the future. And if you want, feel free to reach out if you'd like a reading from me during this time, okay, because there's a lot of change. And if you want any insight in the astrology of your personal chart, please feel free to reach out to me, and we will dive deep into your chart, deep into the shadow aspects, and illuminate it full of light. All right, my Cancer friends, I love you. I wish you enough. Have a beautiful month of October ahead, and we'll see you for the dailies, where I'm going to dive in even deeper, of how the sun is going to start squaring all of this. You know, the sun in the 4th house squaring the 7th house for you. The Mars energy in the 10th house of career also squaring the stuff in the 7th house. So there's a lot of home and family stuff and work stuff that's being squared by relationship stuff right now. So we'll dive a little bit deeper into that in the monthly horoscopes. Otherwise, I'd be talking here for 3 hours. So if you want to know what's going on in your personal chart, feel free to give me an email. Otherwise, thank you as always for hanging out with me. We'll see you tomorrow.